I always think of this class as governance and administration, but I don't know if that's really the title of the class. If there happens to be anyone from my MBA cohort who is going through these videos, maybe chime in and help me remember what we called Tim Johnson's class. It was all about the rules and the structures and the external factors that are important when building and growing a business. We read in this class Business and Its Environment by David P. Barron. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I wrote this about it after the class. We jumped around in this one quite a bit, but I think it turned out to be one of the most comprehensive texts we've used in the MBA program. The cases were relevant, current, and instructive. I referred to it regularly. I can't see myself going back to it for anything in particular, though. It was useful for the class, and that's about it that I can figure. I went back and tried to see if I still had the book, and I think I was right. I don't think I still have it. I think I probably either sold it back or donated it for another MBA student. It was extremely valuable. I don't remember specific things from the book, but I do remember the class being energetic and inspiring. A lot of that had to do with Tim Johnson. It was a great class, and it's for a course that you might think was a little dry. One of the sort of wild ideas that I had when I was in the MBA program was trying to think about ways to restructure or help post-secondary education, especially because I was in this master's program. And at the time, the debate was raging about student athletes and student athletes getting pay. A lot of that has sort of been settled now with the name, image, and likenesses deal that are in the NCAA. But at the time, I had kind of a wild idea about how it's really interesting how in most university settings, we can give full scholarship degree programs for performance type things in the arts, like violin performance, vocal performance, these kind of things. You can get a full ride scholarship for those things. And then the coursework is really all set up to teach you how to do that job when you go out, which seems to be the core or the spirit of what a university education is all about. One of the things that I thought was strange was that the fact that we have this huge industry of sports and we have colleges that give full ride scholarships for athletic performance, but very little is done for those athletes when they are in school to help them become better at a job that would be surrounding that thing that they're getting the scholarship for. And I always thought that was kind of strange. So that concept of getting paid for going to school seemed so much more like a job. I think that's one of the main arguments of why we do have those name, image, likeness deals for the NCAA today. The argument that I was trying to make in 2013 was that the whole debate about whether or not college athletes should get paid was ignoring the fact that we have this huge segment of the population with a massive multi-billion-dollar industry that we're not specifically training people for within that university system. And I always thought that the thing to do would be create athletic performance programs, athletic performance majors at universities. And so this is something that I sort of hammered out and tried to work with in this program, is try to think about the way that you could introduce it to a college program, to say, why don't we restructure the way that college programs are so that student athletes and the people who wanted to be involved in the sports world, in the sports industry, could get educations to actually become more skilled at what they were doing. Wouldn't have to be just sports performance, could also be coaching, could also be refereeing, could be, they do have sports marketing at the University of Oregon, for example. They do have entertainment law that works for sports entertainment as well. You could package that all into a program and have a really interesting degree program at universities. These are the kinds of things that we talked about in that class. How to look at industry, how to look at a particular business and think about the rules and structures around it that might be able to change, fundamentally change the way things are. So I wrote it for a paper in the class with the idea that it was kind of a wild idea that I thought that maybe I would go get an education doctorate or something like that and look to be an administrator at a university as one of the ideas that I could do to help change post-secondary ed. I didn't end up doing that. I ended up going other directions in business. But one of the things, to Tim Johnson's credit, that he said is that he liked the idea and he thought that the idea could really be fleshed out and maybe turned into a book. Not something that I've done at this point yet either, but I'm talking about it here and I would love to talk to people about it. It feels a little bit like a dated idea now because I think it's good now that student athletes are getting paid. I think that connecting the billions of dollars that are made in sports entertainment should go to those student athletes that are doing it like a job in universities. And I still think it would be a great thing to create a curriculum or specific coursework to assist people that want to work in sports entertainment when they leave universities. And creating sports performance programs might be a way to do that. So if you want to talk about that, chime in here or jump in on any of the social media, because I would love to talk about that further as well. I guess the big moral about this course is that I don't even remember the name of it, but I look at it as governance and administration. It sounds like something that's a dry topic, but in a program like an MBA program, you might find something that's particularly interesting for you and a way to kind of develop a passion project coming out of it. So again, this book was called Business and Its Environment. It's extremely helpful for expansive thinking about all the different things that can be done in governance and administration about business. I give it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Till next.